Welcome. The Milwaukee Bucks just made an interesting move. They signed Myles Turner to a full-year $107 million deal, which is nice. The past few years, Myles Turner been trying to get a big contract from the Pacers. They kept playing around with him, sign him for a one-year deal, sign him on a two-year deal. So I kind of expected once free agency hit this year that he was going to leave if the Pacers didn't really want to give him his money. So he's out now. But what's crazy is, how will the Pacers replace Myles Turner? It's easy. I think the Pacers will try to sign DeAndre Ayton. They tried to sign DeAndre Ayton when he re-signed with the Phoenix Suns. They had matched the offer sheet. He was a Pacer. At the last second, the Phoenix Suns matched it, and he went back to Phoenix. They need a big man now. All signs point to them bringing DeAndre Ayton in. When you look at the Milwaukee Bucks side of things, I'm hearing that Giannis is not too happy about Milwaukee waiving Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard has been waived by the Milwaukee Bucks to free up space so they could sign Myles Turner. Damian Lillard, he's up there in age. He don't play defense like that, and he don't set up his teammates good enough. So I can see why he's getting waived. But with him being waived, who takes the chance on Damian Lillard? A few teams could take a chance on Damian Lillard. I can see Damian Lillard signing with the Golden State Warriors. Let him run point guard and let Steph Curry play the two. And let Podziemski back up one of them. I could easily see that happening. With Damian Lillard leaving, a lot of speculation is that Giannis is on the move. I don't think Giannis is going anywhere. I just think Giannis is trying to put some pressure on the front office to get him more pieces. Because when you look at the team that they got, they're going to have Myles Turner, him, Kyle Kuzma, Kevin Porter Jr., and Gary Trent. That's nice, but what do they really have coming off the bench? I don't really see anything. Another team to be on the lookout for Damian Lillard to go to is the Miami Heat. Y'all remember, everybody thought he was going to Miami. And then he, decided to go to Milwaukee. Miami is a good spot for him. Or the Los Angeles Lakers. He probably would have to rotate positions, because if Luka at the point, Dame could play the two. Or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? That's something to look out on, When you look at the Pacers side of things, though, they are in need of a big man. If they fail to sign DeAndre Ayton, that's going to push the Indiana Pacers down in the Eastern Conference standings, man. I know Myles Turner was nice, but Myles Turner was a disappointment in the finals. They must replace his production. With Damian Lillard leaving the Milwaukee Bucks, I could see Drew Holiday going back to Milwaukee, because we all know he does not want to be in Portland. I could really see Drew going back to Milwaukee, where he won a championship and was a big part of that team. And him and Giannis was perfect together. A defensive guard who can defend, rebound, got experience. I would love to see that. When you look at Myles Turner compared to Brook Lopez, who signed with the Clippers, I don't think that Myles Turner is a better player than Brook Lopez. He can't really shoot the three ball like him. His post game is nowhere near Brook Lopez's game in the post. Brook Lopez is a better rebounder. So We're going to see how them things work out for both sides, man. Whoever takes on Damian Lillard going to be taking on the rest of his big contract, and they're going to be taking on, you know, the things that he can't really do good on the court. Like play defense, set up his teammates. That's a big part of being a point guard, man. Especially now in this era. It ain't just about them point guards that can score like that. You gotta set up. Giannis was working so hard, he needed someone to set him up, and they didn't have that. So if you was to ask me, did the Milwaukee Bucks get better? I would say no. Where would Damian Lillard end up? If I could, if I had to say so, I would say he returns to the Milwaukee Bucks. And now, if Drew returns to the Bucks, then the Milwaukee Bucks will have improved their team. But if they don't sign Drew, I think they take a step back. And as for the Pacers, if they don't go sign DeAndre Ayton, they take a step back. That's crazy. When you look at the Indiana Pacers, this team almost won a championship, man. And now one of their main pieces gone. Now Pascal Siakam, he looking around like, I need some help. I can't do this by myself. What will the Indiana Pacers do? Because they need some help now, man. You can't make it to the NBA Finals on the verge of a championship and lose one of your main pieces and don't replace him with equal production or a guy that can give you more. What will Rick Carlisle do? Now, I know they drafted Cam Jones, but that dude is like a small forward. And they drafted this guard, Tayleen Peter, I think. That's not what they need. They need size. Someone that could stretch that floor and knock down three-point shots when Tyrese Halliburton in his bag getting to the rim, attacking the defense, In my opinion, that's why they lost to the Thunder. Myles Turner was not a factor enough. He couldn't shoot the three ball at all, man. At all. No post game. He hit or miss from mid-range. And for a center, he's a terrible rebounder. Man, Myles Turner was getting like 4, maybe 6 rebounds a game. And that's ridiculous to say you a 7-footer. Hartenstein was coming off the bench averaging 8 or 9. Let that sink in. Wanted to stop and drop the news on y'all. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Y'all let me know what y'all think of these moves. I see y'all on the next one.